Hello, this is Jason Wong. So today I want to talk about more on the homeowner side when they decide to sell or have an agent to help to market the properties. Um, in general, there are two types of property. One is primary residence. The other one is just investment properties. So dealing with primary residence, I usually find a homeowner they had a lot of sentimental value attached to the properties, and and the thing is when they want to sell it, there are a couple reason. One of the most obvious one is they want to supersize the living area. They want to upgrade the living. They want to move to a different neighborhood. And the other one is more like a downsizing because maybe the children have moved out, they went to different colleges, and maybe the property is too big to take care. And then some others maybe the homeowner no longer being here. It was the person who inherit the property have nothing to do with the taking care of this property remotely, so they decide to kind of put it up for sale. So it doesn't matter whether it's downsizing or upsizing the living area. Uh, the most important things is you have to have a fair understanding about any deficiencies or any issues that is happening in the property. I know for the fact that in our property disclosure statement, there's always one. There are a couple columns saying about I don't know, I have no knowledge about it, or do not apply. But it doesn't really exempt the homeowner if for any reason the buyer down the road believe about the seller has knowledge about certain deficiency or defects in the property, but the seller decide not to disclose it. Uh, Legally speaking, the buyer can come back and ask for sue for damages for non-disclosure for something that should be disclosed. So what I want to say here is it also is very helpful as a seller, uh, especially those are out of town, out of state seller, or people who just inherit a piece of property and have no idea what and how the property is. It's always good to hire a home inspector to do a pre-listing home inspection on the property. Okay, this inspection report, I know most of the home inspector, they will put out a disclaimer saying about they won't provide any guarantee to run anything that may not be within the checklist that they come up with, okay? But this actually will show it to any potential buyer about as a seller, you have done a reasonable due diligence to have a third experienced party to come in to kind of inspect the property, and you share uh, that knowledge with the buyer that his or her offer got accepted by you. I've always found pre-listing home inspection is a great way to kind of like break the ice or I should not break the ice. It's more about alleviate the doubts about the buyer. Don't forget the buyer's agent sometimes they come in a wide spectrum of background. Some buyer's agent, they may have some construction or contracting background, so they may be able to kind of like provide a more like a constructive feedback to the buyer on certain issues that they have observed in the property. But majority of the real estate agents, they don't have these kind of construction or renovation background, and any little things it will set the alarm off. Okay, so the thing is, if you have as a seller, if you have a pre-listing home inspection being done on the property, at least you have an expert and a specialist on your end. So if by any chance the buyer or the buyer agents have any doubts or any questions about it, the report and also the individual, the inspector, will be able to help to answer those questions with all the evidence and proof that is presented in the booklet. So I found this is way better than paying any lip service of trying to kind of talk things out of it, because to be honest with you, no buyer will be just accept anything just by saying, oh, that's no problem, or I don't know. And the more doubts that a buyer has, the higher chance they may collapse the deal. So so you want to do some of the homework before having the property list on the marketplace. And then the second thing that I always want to emphasize is uh, since if you are really determined to sell the property, it would be advisable for you to really start packing. That is really one thing that is difficult sometimes as an agent when I walk into a property that has a lot of uh, the homeowner's personal belongings like photos, books, paperwork, files, you name it, they have it. Okay, artwork, paintings, sculpture. Um, you want to create a space which is neutral, because you have to understand you have no idea what type of buyer's background you are you are showing you are kind of like open the door and have these people come in. And our job is to try to appeal to the maximum maximum amount of audiences to kind of like appreciate the property. And I found sometimes it's really difficult for some of the seller to really uh, put things away so that it create more space, and also make it neutral, the space, make it more neutral, and also less cluttered around. Then the buyer will be able to have a fair to form a better impression when they walk inside of the property. So that's one thing that sometimes is really hard for any seller to kind of start packing when they think about, why do I hurry myself? I don't even have an offer right now. Maybe I only can get this sold maybe 60 days or even maybe 1 year later. Why do I want to do it? But you know what? Most of the homeowner, if they did if they prepare and also they really do pack away a lot of stuff from the house, they do get the property sold a lot quicker. Like, that's really the truth. And our job as a listing agent, we are here to help you to kind of like get the top dollars for the property. But at the same time, we also have seen enough about how come some of the properties they have great potential, but how come they don't capture the maximum dollar value. It's really about the impression. And then the third thing that I want to mention is the smell. I know it's really getting very personal. When a person live in like whether it's a house or a condo, okay, you have your very personal smell built into the space. And sometimes the smell can be so intense that even the drywall, okay, or the drapes and curtain and sofa fabric get absorbed with the smell. What I found here is it will be always advantageous for the homeowner to ask some of their good friends to come over and to give them a very candid answer whether they smell anything funny when they walk into the properties. And if you identify the source, you really should find treatment to kind of treat it. If it is the smell is coming from the drapes, then try to get the drape company to come and clean it. And if it is coming from the wall, you want to identify whether the smell is coming from a moldy backing. Then if it is moldy, that means there may be some water damages in between wall to wall. So you may want to open up and really fix the leak, because trust me, when home inspection comes in, they will have all of these gadget to kind of like do infrared reading to see whether the wall is structurally sound or it was so wet or so moldy that it show all these big red lights on the device. So the smell is really important because again, you want to attract the highest amount of qualified buyers to look at the properties. And if the properties smell really odd or really not too mainstream, okay, uh, it hurt the homeowner to get the top dollars on the properties. And then the fourth things is about the curbs appeal. It's more geared for the single family house. Sometimes just be more diligent about like doing the yard work. It doesn't have to be you have to kind of plant too many flowers or trees or bushes, but at least do the upkeeping. For example, if the fencing are kind of like not aligned or straight, just fix it so that at least the buyer will believe about the homeowner take care of it. And if the homeowner cannot do it, then hire a handyman to come in to kind of like do all these small fixes, and also make sure all the light bulb can be lit. Any socket or anything that is decommissioned, make sure you have the safety plates cover it. Otherwise, the home inspector, when they come in and inspect all the electrical outlet, and if any one of them are not working, then it will goes on the report. So if you know about some of the socket has been relocated, or some of the plug they don't work, then get a safety place cover it, so that at least is to the buyer and also the home inspector, they know about that is no longer a working plug. And then for in terms for the apartment buildings, you also want to observe when is the highest traffic for people to use the elevator. And for example, some condos, they have more people that are going out around between 7:30 until 8:30. And then maybe in the afternoon from 5:30 to 6:30, those are the peak hours for the elevator. Try not to schedule any showings during those times, because you don't want the potential buyer to be waiting in the lobby for more than 15 minutes to get up to the unit. I'm not joking. There's a Waikiki condo. It only has 2 elevators, and man, it was really bad for the speed of the elevator and how high density of the unit of the building. Literally, my buyers and myself, we've been waiting in the lobby for more than 25 minutes in order to have the elevator cab to come down. And then the funny thing is when the elevator went upstairs, we're so scared that we have to wait another 25 minutes to come down. So in fact, we actually look at the staircase and to see whether we can just walk from the staircase to go down. We decide to kind of take the stair instead of like waiting for the elevator to go down. And of course, my buyer didn't put an offer on that in that building. So note about the traffic. What would be the peak hours for the elevator usage makes a huge difference when the buyer comes in to have the first impression about the environment.